right. We are live and we are back with the Blame Girl podcast.
Oh my God. Mr. Terry Wayne just flabbergasted.
And we already got
Gio
the
was there for that. Gio was there.
Oh, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
And
Don't
then
worry.
We got Josh Kusnick. He's been here before. He's a comedian and he is the Simple NFT CEO now. We'll get into that a little later. Welcome, Josh.
Hello.
How you been?
I'm in a car, so things aren't going great.
How was your weekend?
Yeah, when the CEO is in the car, what are you going to do? You know,
it's a passenger seat at least. So it's a really cool Uber.
How was
you got to
weekend?
be in the back if you want to be the man, you know.
Yeah, this is very poor.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I had to do what I had to do the non-stereotypical thing as a Jewish person, and I had to meet with my lawyers. We had our meeting. We had our meeting in Orlando today. It was great. We had a vote. It was awesome.
So you get to tell Jewish jokes, huh?
How's it going if I tell a joke that has the N-word versus you? So yes.
But not.
The man makes a point.
But you know,
I can talk all the shit I want about my own people.
I will say this, that the word, and I never usually use this word Jew, it's like the N-word because y'all use it amongst each other and then get mad when other people use it. So I don't know.
If you use it as a pejorative, it's always bad. That's not new.
It's your tone, right? It's your tone.
I think Louis C.K., his bit on it, nailed it on the head because it's all about the tone. It's all about the tone in which you say the word Jew. Because like, oh, that's Jennifer, she's a Jew. But if you go, oh, that's Jennifer, she's a Jew. Like all you got to do is put a little stank on it, and it's bad.
Well, it was funny to watch Dave Chappelle on SNL for a litany of reasons, which I'll wait for go into that. But the part where he said,
I wanted to get into our weekend. So how was your weekend, Josh? We got to share the
Dave
show.
Chappelle. That was part of my weekend.
What was it?
That wasn't this weekend.
I said I was thinking about Dave Chappelle all weekend.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything
was your whole weekend? You
weekend?
spent your whole weekend doing
I meditated in deep thought because I knew I was coming on and I didn't want to be unprepared. I'm not a micer.
Well, Dave Chappelle was not even this past weekend. So what did you do? You just did that all weekend?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I watched the Nets game yesterday.
Okay. At least you did something. In person?
Yeah, you got to stay sports positive.
It was great to see Kyrie back on the court.
Oh, okay. We'll get into that. You just are
came
ready
right back
to get
to it again.
You ready to get into it. Terry, what you do this weekend?
I watched the Nets game.
Terry, what you do this weekend?
I was working for the most part this weekend. I'm trying to get as much money together as I can before your boy moves.
Yeah.
So
Woo!
leaving. I don't know why you're clapping. I hate moving.
Why? I'm jealous.
Why? I hate moving. I hate change in general, but whatever. But moving sucks. What are you talking about? Moving is the worst.
I'm not even going to talk you out of that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's right. I was wrong.
Do you have a location you want to go yet, or are you just still?
We are 98% moving to
Tennessee.
Nashville. Yeah.
I knew it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The market's on the upswing. They are calling it the Austin of the South. And it looks like it could. It looks like it. It looks like it could be very advantageous financially. And yes, they do have a good comedy club called Zany's.
Zany's is awesome. You would kill there.
I think he froze up.
No, I was saying he was so good. He would do well there. That's why.
Yeah, he froze up. Hopefully he'll figure it out. All right.
No, but also his comedy, Terry specifically, like, they love that stuff there.
Well,
like
he's from there. He's from that area.
Oh,
he grew up there.
okay.
So his family, his sister moved back there. She just took advantage of the market and went ahead and
there we go.
Hey,
who's back?
Yeah.
No, the world.
His sister took advantage of the market. She sold her house here. She moved there.
On my advice.
She has kids,
nice.
And Terry probably misses them dearly.
It's not nice. It's fantastic. By listening to me, she made about $250,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Better agent than I am.
It's good to have family in the real estate market. So
yeah.
They can plug you into when it's like, you need to sell and go right now, like immediately. So,
well, I had a good weekend. I can't even tell you what I did on Friday. That's how good my weekend was. But I did comedy on Saturday and on Sunday. I did I got out to Jesse Denny's and Lunchbox's new room in Port St. Lucie, Kava Cat on Saturday.
How is that room?
You tried that room?
No, I want to go to the next one, really. How was it?
It was a good crowd. It was like mostly dudes, I'll be honest, but they were laughing at my jokes. I was able to make a room full of dudes laugh, so I felt good about that. And then I did the improv last night, and that was a lot of fun. I feel like the crowd might have been a little tight at first, but I got them loosened up. And I did the Jacked Up show. So
the show with Rob, how was that show?
Rob wasn't on that show. Oh, Rob Smiles.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. It was a lot of fun. That was my first time performing with Rob.
Oh, that's he's great.
I saw it online. It looked like a great crowd.
Yeah, it was interesting because I know I was texting with Jackie before, and she was like a little nervous because it was early, but no one had showed up. And then when I got there was like 80 people there, and then by the time we started, it just started filling in and I couldn't believe the stream of people. I guess maybe they thought it started later. It was supposed to start at 7, and I think we probably started at 7:30. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I love performing at the Improv, and that's why you can't say that's your favorite venue. But anyway, let's get to it. First, we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is now being accused of anti-Semitism. Who's to blame, guys? Go.
Dave Chappelle. He said it.
Really?
And he's not, I don't think he's super anti-Semitic. I think he said things that were anti-Semitic. Doesn't make him totally anti-Semitic. I don't believe that, but
what did he specifically say that you found anti-Semitic? Just the word?
I think I know.
No. I mean, it was funny. The whole bit's funny, but it's disingenuous to think somebody that smart could go through a bit saying the phrase "the Jews upsets people" like unironically, when he himself probably would not love the phrase "the blacks," or when he points out fact-based arguments for racism, and then I make the comment, "Oh, like phrenology." It kind of pisses me off when people use any kind of. If a lot of Jewish people work in an area like Hollywood, which tons do, it's not because they're Jewish, and it doesn't mean all of them do. So when you perpetuate that and you get stuck with like dumb fuckery like Kyrie and Dave, people like me now daily have to hear this shit. So
wait, let me just say this. The thing that Kyrie did is very different from what Dave did.
No, Dave defended Kyrie.
Kyrie fell into some Farrakhan fucking trap and went down some hole about how black folks are the real Jews and all
Dave defended it with the most bullshit fucking argument I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you thought he defended it?
I do. When he went on SNL and said, "Jewish people, you can't blame Black America for your problems," and one fucking person applauded. You know why? Because no one's doing that. It's insane. It's whatever prejudice he may have. Not one person who's Jewish is going around blaming black people for issues in Jewish culture. Kyrie said a dumb fucking thing. I'm not blaming all black people for it.
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. So I can't really speak on.
I think a better question is, do you honestly believe that's disparaging to the Jewish community? Because you said, how would he feel if somebody said the blacks? Well, all right, hang on. You said he wouldn't like it if somebody said the blacks. But people do say that all the time. In fact, I hear politicians
How'd
say
it
the black community all
And
the
how does it
time.
sound every time?
Not every time. It doesn't always sound bad.
Tell me the good context.
He's frozen again.
Okay.
I think the good context is the black community, but I think
Is
the
that
bad context.
wait, but you
Wait.
already didn't say the thing.
I just
Wait,
said
what? Well, the
but the-
blacks too. I mean, Trump.
What's the good context?
What's that?
What's the good context of the phrase the blacks, the Jews?
I think that again, what we were talking about earlier, it just comes back to context and tone and the way that you're saying it. Because they've already told us that 80% of the communication you're making is not the words coming out of your mouth. It's your tone, it's your body language, and it's your cadence. So if I were to say, the blacks, I don't really find anything wrong with that. But if the blacks, then I hear that. I hear that the same way with the Jews. If I go, oh, that's my friend Tom, he's a Jew. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I say, oh, that's my friend Tom, he's a Jew. He's a Jew.
Yeah, but I would say as a Jewish person, anybody that speaks that way around any Jewish person, it always raises the alarm bell, because we're like, if you had a lot of Jewish friends, generally you would, and you were exposed to the culture, you would not say that. So it makes you think two things. Someone either hasn't been around it or is the other thing. I don't instantly
think. Did he not make the point though, Josh, that those are two phrases you shouldn't say next to each other? He said that.
Yeah, but he negated it immediately. You heard the whole thing.
Yeah, I did. He did it.
Well,
and then he said and then immediately after said.
Yeah, so like he didn't stop, which again, I'm making this point very clear because I don't want to get shot down by everybody that is going to get sent this. But like, he can go on stage and say that freely as much as he wants to. He can go find the audience that wants to go pay for that. I, as an audience member who loved him for years, can go say it's fucking garbage just the same. But like these people.
But you thought Dave Chappelle was garbage because of his trans comments already. So
I hate his trans comments. And also, just to bash a couple Jewish comics, because I can't wait for this part. Jerry Seinfeld and who was the other one that was apparently the ambassador of all
Jon Stewart. No slander will be had towards Jon Stewart on this show.
Oh no, Jon Stewart. Stephen Colbert corrected him, like literally, because Jon Stewart went out and defended this kind of without defending it by saying it's important to not cancel these people because we have to have the dialogue. One, go fuck yourself. Really. Nothing has ever prevented that dialogue. And I have watched Dave Chappelle's willingness to have a dialogue with the trans community. So like that conversation ain't fucking happening. Secondly,
wait. Who said we need to have a dialogue?
Jon Stewart.
I thought that's what Seinfeld said. I didn't know that's what Jon said.
No, Jon Stewart went on Colbert. Colbert. It is an important time to have that talk. And I'm saying no, because Dave Chappelle knows all of this. He is friends with all of these people, and nothing has ever stopped these people from having this conversation with him prior to now. So to think that this is some virgin territory for one of the smartest people who has ever lived, this is a choice.
Maybe they have had that.
Let's ask a serious question, right? Let's ask a serious question, and I want a serious answer. Do you believe that Dave Chappelle hates or disparages Jewish people?
Absolutely. Personally, I probably think he's got some issues with Jewish people.
Well, then I think we're going to have to disagree there, because one of the people that helped make his career,
Neil Brennan.
Neil Berlin, yeah, his old writing partner.
How did that relationship end up?
They had a falling out between the two of them, and then they reconciled years later.
And what were some of the issues that those guys fought over?
I think race was the biggest issue. Race and money.
That was Dave's issue. What was Neil's?
I don't know.
It was anti-Semitism and Dave's proclivities to it, and I guess they found an
Neil
understanding,
who?
and that's Brennan.
No,
Neil Brennan.
A great comedian who him and Dave wrote some of the greatest stuff I have ever seen in my life in the history of comedy. Ever. Him, by the way.
Did they fall out? So you're saying that Neil said that they fell out over anti-Semitism?
I don't know anything. I'm just telling you what is on the internet. Like they both had issues.
Oh, okay.
With what they were doing. Like Chappelle had real issues with being forced into the box of like, hey, go do minstrel jokes. And he's like, I don't want to do this. And he shouldn't have. And then Brennan was upset about, hey, some of the Jew jokes a little over. And then that's a fight between friends. I don't care at all. But I'm saying to prop that up, like, oh, he likes Jews. He has a Jew friend. Don't make that argument to me. So Brett Ernst did it too. I don't care who someone's friends with. It doesn't matter because you don't. Reggie Watts, who's black and not Jewish, who literally had the greatest point of view from what I was thinking of for people like me. Reggie Watts said, why are you telling hack jokes that divide people when you're better than this? Like you totally can, but you're Dave Chappelle. Why are you doing this? And
I don't agree with that it's a hack joke. I think that a lot of people saw that monologue and thought it was pretty brilliant the way he rode that line. You're
right.
And Dave Chappelle, one thing Dave Chappelle has always done, and you can always expect him to do, is ride that motherfucking line.
Do you think
on the subject of black people? Because you know what else he did? Wait, let me get in here. I've been quiet. Let me get in here.
Hang on, Josh. She's been quiet.
What he did is he said the N-word about 40 times on NBC. So, and no one has ever taken issue with him saying that, but now it's like he has this monologue where he rides that line. I don't know that he crossed it.
All right,
Josh,
if we talk over each other, nobody can hear anybody. So one at a time.
How are you equating this?
Let me finish. I don't know that he crossed that line, but I'm just saying, like, he's an offensive comedian. That's his type of humor.
You call me when a Jewish comic goes and does a monologue bashing black people. How did you equate Dave saying the N-word with whatever the fuck?
Bashing Jewish people. Stop. You're being hyperbolic.
Well, he wasn't.
No, I'm not.
Let's be fair. He wasn't bashing Jewish people.
He wasn't bashing Jewish people, Josh.
Are you both fucking kidding me right now? Both of you are going to tell me. You're going to tell me. You're both. Your life. No, really. We're going to do this on your show, Gio. You're going to fucking tell me what's anti-Semitic.
I didn't say that.
Well, I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking. So if I think Dave was anti-Semitic, no, I'm really asking this. If I think Dave is anti-Semitic and you don't, my question to you is, what the fuck do you know?
But Josh, you got to understand this.
No,
there's a bunch of other
Jewish
people that didn't see what he did as anti-Semitic. So you're saying I got to believe what you say just to be. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to believe. No, you don't have to believe me.
No, I don't.
No, you can be wrong. So, like, just like people have their proclivities to black, exactly.
You don't speak for the entire community.
Absolutely
you don't speak for the whole tribe.
Right, exactly, but neither of you speak for fucking anybody in the community. So you're both explaining to me about anti-Semitism. Can you imagine if I went to Gio and started explaining things about
then
black
how can you speak for the trans community?
You
know what I'm saying? Like, is it only if you're gonna jump on the bandwagon that something is an ism that you can be on their side, or can you really speak up truthfully on other?
I know more about the Jewish thing than you, and I know more about the trans thing than say X. But a trans person will always know more than me about the trans issue. You will always know more.
I almost had another.
You might want to take it. You might want to take a breath there on that one.
No, I don't want to. No,
I was gonna have.
Well, I'm just saying you don't know either one of us, so I mean, really.
I was gonna have
Warren. Words right now.
Josh, can I fucking talk?
Absolutely.
You're getting upset. Take it easy, Josh.
I was gonna have Warren on the show too, because that's someone I fucking know that we both know, and he disagrees. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they're Jews.
If I don't agree with Warren, am I wrong? If I don't agree with you, am I wrong? You know,
it's not a monolith. But my point is, literally, how is it different? You telling me about anti-Semitism, am I going to correct you on anything about the black community? Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, kind of. You can. You can have an opinion. You can have an opinion. It doesn't mean that she's going to agree with it, but you're allowed to have it.
Gio, tell me the things that I know about the black experience more than you. Please tell me.
Let me. Well, before we get into that,
I
just
asking,
wanted to share.
No, I don't want to get into it. I want to know that.
Okay. All right, then answer him and I'll move on.
What do I know about the Black experience more than you?
I don't think you would know anything. You're not living the Black experience. And I understand that you're living the Jewish experience, Josh, but so are other people. So I don't know what to tell you.
But right, exactly. But are you?
No,
well, there is a difference.
So I can't have an opinion because I'm not Jewish. That means you can't have an opinion because you're not trans.
Well, hang on.
I'm saying you don't know.
Josh, you're missing something.
Tell me what's anti-Semitic.
No, but you're missing something here, Josh. Because there is one huge difference between the Black experience in America and the Jewish experience in America. There is one big difference, and you're going to have to agree with it because it's just historical fact.
Please tell me.
She can't walk down the street and just keep the fact that she's Black to herself.
Absolutely. Agreed.
But you can walk down the street and keep the fact that you're Jewish to yourself. So you're not visually discriminated against, but she is. Let
me tell my story here. We'll finish that thought. He's right, 100%. To the Black community, I'm white. To the white community, I'm Jewish. So
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
I know that, and I'm speaking in large terms. But I promise you, that's the separation. Adolf Hitler killed a bunch of Jews because we weren't white enough, but all of a sudden, now we are. And my point is Jews are never treated like white people. We're not. It's not the same fucking thing. Hence the thing, I didn't know you were Jewish because I'm not white. I'm Jewish. And yeah, it's not a skin tone. And yes, it's not the same as Black people, but I am not white in the sense of a white privileged person. It's different privilege, all kinds of conversations like that. My point is I'm still a fucking minority, and it's a different minority than Gio, and it is not the same as white people. And Gio has her perspective of the Black experience that I don't fucking know anything about. She can have opinions about Jewish culture, but she does not know. So if she thinks something is anti-Semitic and I say it is anti-Semitic, the likelihood is she is probably fucking wrong.
Well, but when you say anti-Semitic,
you know what I'm saying? That's my point. There's other Jewish people that do not agree with you, and they're reasonable people. So that's my.
That's not saying that you're unreasonable, Josh.
We need to move on to the next next.
No, I think we're good here because I've been waiting between your two fighting to add this. Okay. Because my best friend Tom is Jewish, right? He's my business partner. I've known the guy 25 years. He's my closest friend. Every time I have a situation that comes up like this, I always seek his counsel because I want to get his opinion. And after a little bit of conversation, we kind of stumbled on something that I think at least needs to be addressed just as a comedian. I mean, because frankly, I'm an atheist. So anybody who believes in anything, I think you're all silly. But I think Christians are just as silly as Muslims and Jews and everybody else. But we did come across this through our conversation because he's always honest with me and I'm honest with him. And do you think that this is going to hurt that an outcry over a comedian's performance? Do you think that's going to hurt the stellar reputation that the Jewish community has in comedy? Because throughout the years, it has just been proven time and time from Woody Allen to Jerry Seinfeld to that the Jewish community is steeped in comedy. And do you think that being outraged over a comedian's set is going to hurt them? Because it does kind of look a little hypocritical because Jewish people make fun of a lot of different things over the years. I mean, we can go back through a lot of Jewish comedians and find material that is problematic today, but was appropriate at the time. I'm just saying, is this the hill to die on to risk your stellar reputation in comedy?
I don't think,
because that's where we got to, between him and I.
Really, honestly, I don't think it'll matter at all because I don't think Dave Chappelle's bigger than comedy, and he's one guy. And the person that I look up to the most in comedy,
he's the biggest comedian on the planet for the most part, you know.
Yeah, but so is Louis C.K. Everybody has their window. I mean, I think Dave Chappelle is the greatest comedian.
He's still one of the best.
I think Dave is probably the greatest comedian to ever live. I think Dave probably is better at speaking about the Black experience to white people than any comedian alive, maybe anyone ever that I've seen. So he does a lot of good, huh?
I said I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, no,
I think Chris Rock was
think
better,
he
but
really
whatever.
stepped on
No,
that line here.
I think Dave does more to enlighten the white community about what most black people, I mean, at least what I think, like he just opens up the experience to so many people that would not normally be exposed to it. So like people are complicated. So he does all these really good things and then decides to use that enormous platform to spend time on marginalized groups because he's proving some kind of
That's the thing
point.
about being a comedian. You don't want to just talk about your black experience, but you're going to talk about your black experience.
But you've
experiencing other ethnicities and sexualities.
Tell me, I'm asking, what other successful comedian had this kind of fucking heel turn other than like Bill Maher, where you have your core audience and you're like, fuck them. Louis C.K. did, but he had to. Why did Dave decide to just do that? And he can, nothing's stopping him. But when you start aligning,
I think there's humor there. Honestly, okay. I think there's humor there.
Let me just ask you this. I just want to clarify one thing with
Josh.
There's
humor in what the fuck Kanye's doing. There's humor in what Kyrie's doing. Yeah, it's fucking terrible, but it's funny too. You're a comedian. How do you not know that?
I actually
but they're not comedians. You know,
no, but
what they're doing is funny. So
burning their lives down over stupid opinions.
I'm out here talking about Kanye being anti-Semitic on stage. I'm doing it. So like, because I don't know what it's like to be Jewish. But, you know, like.
But there is a huge difference between what Kanye did and what Dave did. Okay.
Yes.
There was a huge class difference, and there was real hatred on Kanye's side. You could feel it. It was palpable. I did not get that from Chappelle's set. And I just want to clarify with Josh. I just want to clarify with Josh what exactly he's mad about. Was it
I'll go back to it. So the
hang on. Was let me ask the question, then you can answer it. Was it the fact that he used the term Jews, or was it that he closed out his set saying, you know, if you go to Hollywood and you make them mad, then you might be, you know what I mean?
No, I've heard Brett Ernst tell those jokes. Like, it wasn't, to me, that's not all that funny. I don't care if it's not funny, like just be funny, but I didn't think it was funny. No, the part that bothered me was the little, well, one, the defending Kyrie and Kanye. I get the edgy part, so I don't really care. No, it was the actual point when no one applauded, which made me the happiest, is when he said, Jewish people, stop blaming the black community for your problems. It's a literal insane thing. It's an insane thing to say that on national television. That's the thing that pissed
you off?
Yes, immeasurably.
Okay.
Still does right now, because it's fucking crazy. It doesn't happen.
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I agree with you. I've had tons of black friends because I came from a black community. I've never heard, and I've had tons of Jewish friends. I've never heard any Jewish person complain about black people ruining their lives, just like I've never heard of a black person blaming Jewish people for their lives. It doesn't strike. It doesn't strike.
A person from the Nation of Islam, like that's a whole thing. But that's
if you're Islamic, you're not a fan of the Jews. That's pretty. That's pretty.
The Nation of Islam specifically.
No, I would limit this to Judeo-Christian black people in America as a whole. I have never once had one of them come at me aggressively in life. In 40 years of being on this planet, working in professional sports, any of them complain about this monolith of Jewish people blaming them for things. It has never happened. So when he says that on TV and it starts to hit the Twitter sphere, and then I get DMs from crazy people that follow Geo, it is tangibly making my life.
That ain't my fault. That ain't my fault. Okay.
Well, you can't blame Geo.
We gotta move on. We gotta hit these other topics. So
no, we don't. They suck. Those topics.
No, Josh sent me the next one. So anyway, Kyrie has come correct with his apology to the Jewish community. Per Josh Kusnick. Who's to blame, Josh?
The Jewish people are to blame for forcing Kyrie into an apology.
It's so stupid.
They forced that nigga to apologize, didn't they?
They did. They really did. And I saw Dave complaining about it. And that was the part of the monologue where I was almost like, I could see that being a thing. But at the same time, the reason the team and everyone forced that to be bad is because the league, and I can speak to this on the sports side, the league, this is entirely the NBA's fault. If the NBA had competent leadership, they would have made a decision for the team. They would have handed down the punishment. This would have been over. But I got to give Kyrie credit for what I have seen thus far. what he like, I know athletes.
Why did you be like it all of a sudden become more sincere in your point of view, Josh?
No, I don't, because I know what he freaking did, because I've been in those media scrubs. He probably, look, he tweeted something because
it's an Islam movie. That's all.
No, it's very important to note this. He's an idiot.
Negroes,
and he did not,
the Hebrews or something, like, come on.
Right. He did not watch it. He saw the title and he retweeted it. And then people are like, hey, in the 5 tenets of this movie, it says Jews fake the Holocaust. Maybe don't tweet this. And he's like, screw you. He goes, screw you. I'm going to leave it up there. I'm a free thinker. And they're like, dude, you really got to see what's on here. And he's like, no, I don't care. I'm going to leave it up there. And I love black people. Like, dude, read the thing. And that's why every black person in America that likes Kyrie did not back him up. They're like, dude, you really got to see this.
He's a flat earther, right?
He's a flat earther. And yeah,
which should tell you everything you need to know about the man.
Like,
he's wrong about everything. If it's not about a jump shot, he's wrong.
So. Shut up and dribble. Like,
but I don't. It's so crazy to me. Like, guy like, and I'm gonna do this. I'm totally doing it. Guy like Kyrie gets so much attention, and I'm sorry. Like, say what you want about his decisions on the court. LeBron James is like the greatest 21st century like athlete hero of everything. The guy does everything right off the court. He helps people, and I wish a guy like that got more attention, like positively, for what he does than the bullshit that Kyrie's doing. I hate it.
LeBron gets.
You don't think LeBron James gets enough attention? Did you just say you don't think LeBron James gets enough attention?
No, I think LeBron James gets so much bullshit for being such a heel in the NBA. People always
look, Kyrie, you know what Kyrie did that I'm about? He donated to Shanquella Robinson.
Yeah, he
the
did.
girl
he did.
who was murdered in Mexico by her friends. He donated to her family. He's always donating money. He's trying to do the right thing, but that nigga dumb. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to look through people's stupid actions to see the person that's behind it. Now, I'm not saying Kyrie's a good person. I don't know enough about him, because the second I heard he was a flat earther, I wrote his ass off completely. But that doesn't mean he's a bad person. It just means that, and I like what Jon Stewart said about having a conversation, because the thing is, when you come out with your pitchforks and your torches about whatever issue it is, people's ears close, and that's when you take a discussion that should be had and you start creating a divide to where there is no discussion anymore. You know,
I gotta ask Terry a question for me.
Sure,
I'll shut up. I promise. I've heard that from Jon Stewart, and I don't always love that, which makes me the bad person, because I don't think you can rationalize and discuss away Nazism and racism. So I don't think
Dave Chappelle's a Nazi.
No.
I'm like, you're being hyperbolic. You're like pushing him.
No, not in that context. In a vacuum, you can't discuss away like Nazism. But in Dave's case, the position he is in, you just told me Jewish people. I'll say it for me in my way. Jews run comedy. I'll say it because it's not racist if I do. Jews run
Hollywood
comedy.
Is what he said. Jews run Hollywood.
Jews run Hollywood, apparently. So my question is, if Jews run Hollywood, you tell me at what point Dave Chappelle didn't have this conversation.
That's what I'm saying. He probably spoke to someone about it at this point. And you know what? He was on fucking SNL. I'm pretty sure Lorne Michaels is Jewish. So I
hope he's not. I hope he's not.
He is. Go look it up. I looked it up before I just said that. Yeah.
Wow, we got another one.
He's one of those Canadian Jewish people.
If you said the Jews run SNL at this point, knowing Lorne's Jewish, I don't even think I could argue that racist.
Well, I mean, I first of all, it's not racism; it's a stereotype, right? But if I were to say that black people are good at basketball, would I be right? Would I be right?
I'm so glad you brought this up, Terry.
Hang on. Would I be right or would I be wrong for saying that? Because here's the thing: not all black people are good at basketball. However, every person who has ever been really great at basketball have been 99% black.
Correct.
All right. So that's the thing I wanted to bring up earlier. There are stereotypes, right? and this is how I got my first lesson on Jewish stereotypes and why they're bad. I have a really good friend, and I'm not being like, oh, I have a good Jewish friend, but I do.
Good story.
And he, you know, I was like, I don't understand why it's even bad to say that Jewish people run the banks. That's not a bad stereotype. You know, it just didn't make sense to me. And then, you know, he educated me on like, and I know I was a history teacher, World War II, and like how they fucking made it seem like Jewish people ran the banks. But he said when he was a kid, people would throw pennies at him. And I was like, oh my God, that horrified me. That's fucking racist.
Well,
So
yeah.
That's
but
how
again,
that's
I
how
had that happen to me.
That's how
It's
a positive stereotype can fucking still be racist, quite
well, it's the difference between a stereotype, which some stereotypes can be true.
because black men get mad if you're like, oh, you got a big dick, you know.
Yeah, most stereotypes don't necessarily originate in a negative place. However, when those stereotypes are used by people fueling hate, that's when they become toxic. That's when they become destructive. Because like you said, oh, black guys have big dicks. Well, I've been in enough locker rooms to know that's not necessarily true. So I've had bigger dicks than some of the black guys I've known. But that's not necessarily true. It's just one that you want to hang on to. So when you say that Jewish people are good with money, that's not a bad stereotype. You're good with money. That's like saying all Mexicans are always in shape. Like, you know what I mean? That's a good stereotype. But if you take that and you put hatred behind it, be like, yeah, Jews are all good with money. That's why they take all of ours. Or yeah, all Mexicans are in shape. That's because they're running across the border, blah, blah, blah. And when you use it towards hatred, like you can do that. I mean, even Harvard had to step back and say that they actually had a problem with stereotyping in Harvard because the majority of people that were getting accepted were Asian. Because, oh, what are all Asian people super smart? Well, apparently, motherfucker, because a lot of them are getting into Harvard.
In the United States.
But, I'm just saying, if you use that as a negative, then you can create hatred out of it. And that's where it goes to. Because a negative person, a hateful person looks at that and goes, see, can't even get a white kid into Harvard anymore because all these smart Asians, you know, and that's where they go.
Gio, you were with me for one of these talks somewhere. I don't remember if it was Brett Ernst, but you have been around me. This has happened either on stage.
Well, you were leaning hard into Brett on this.
No, it was Chris Rowe. I'm surprised you never brought him up.
Oh, I don't care about him. So
no, you went in. Oh no,
you take him to task. You're not going to sit here and badmouth Chris or Brett Ernst the whole time, and then you're going to leave Chris out of it just because he's handicapped. No, I don't think so.
I'm leaving. Chris. No, Chris isn't a comedian. He's some guy who works in an office who's an open mic. Or Brett's a real comic. So
whoa! You are so wrong there.
Check Google me and Chris Rowe and Brett Ernst and ask who the third one is out of those three. It won't be me or Brett.
Listen, Chris has been doing comedy longer than I have. And he was already established by the time I came around. So I mean, not to mention I've seen him slay. So I'm gonna have to knock it down.
You know who else slays, guys? Steve Aoki.
Not a transition. Jesus.
And yo.
Oh, sorry, Joshua.
Steve Aoki.
I want to ask you something.
Listen, Amazon announced. Stop. Amazon announced mass layoffs as it had a Steve Aoki concert. Y'all, who's to blame?
Oh, I saw that.
It's all those Jewish accountants that they had fire everybody. That's what it was.
Cancel Terry.
Cancel. How are you going to cancel me? You can't cancel something that's never been on the air.
By the way, guys, I just want you both to know your boy Jason Pellish is in the chat. He's entered the chat. He's like, I'm here. You can start now. It's not about race. Black people are Jewish too. That's what he said. Ask Joshua to tell a free joke. He loves fucking with you, Josh. All right. Tell us about Steve Aoki. Who's to blame for this shit?
What a
Gio,
lame joke, Jason. Lame.
Wait, Gio, I love your opinions. Gio, I'm going to do this. I want to hear your thoughts on corporate America hiring a DJ to play music while people are getting fired. Please tell me. I've been dying for this.
Honestly, I think this was bad timing. I think that they probably had Steve Aoki booked for a while because he's probably booked up, and then they were like, "Fuck, we gotta lay people off." And so
well, but this is one of the largest companies in the world. If they want Steve Aoki there tomorrow, they're going to get him there tomorrow. Owned by the world's richest man. Like
Steve Aoki, it's $300,000 to book him, right? At least.
Yeah. Who gives? That's fucking Bezos finds that in his couch cushion.
You can keep maybe 10 employees with that. You know what
I mean? That's your best point right there. He's like, you could have just not brought him.
Please write a joke. I didn't think of that. That's amazing.
Yeah, okay. You could have kept like probably 10 employees on that. Yeah.
I did a joke on the BlameGirl podcast. Okay.
No, that was a bad.
But that was my opinion about it. What do y'all think?
I thought it was of Silicon Valley.
You think what?
I just thought it was an episode of Silicon Valley, just the DJ while the guys are walking out with their boxes. It's a horrible visual.
It could be an episode of something shit.
Techno, dubstep, all that fucking shit is garbage music anyway. I don't know who would pay this man $300,000 to do anything. But yeah, all that shit is garbage music. It really doesn't matter. I think the bigger problem here is that Amazon has gotten so big that, you got to remember their annual revenue trumps so many full-blown countries, sovereign nations. And
oh no, it was a good point.
Sound went out.
That's such a good point.
Your sound went
begging.
out. Okay, you're back.
What?
You're back.
Okay, I'm just saying, when you allow unfettered capitalism like this to go unchecked and unchallenged, you are just begging for a James Bond style villain to try and take over the goddamn world, because you can do that with enough money. If Jeff Bezos wanted to start his own army and go to war, who the fuck is going to stop it?
I love both of you.
If Jeff Bezos decided to take his money, go to Russia and say, I want to fund revamping your entire military so we can take over the world, who the fuck is going to stop it? Honestly.
I got nothing to add.
Just saying. Gio, everybody thought the pandemic would be the end of the world. It's not the pandemic. It's your fucking wallet. And whose is the biggest? Money equals power.
All right. Jason.
Power only grows.
I just got to tell you this, Josh. Jason says you have a 10 times better voice than he imagined. I think he's in love with you. I think he has moved on from Terry. Clearly moved on from me.
He also said your nose is a lot smaller than he thought it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason.
I know, Jason.
You're not a comic. You can't say stuff like that.
You racist.
I already knew who I was fucking before some 70-year-old dude fucking started typing into a podcast on Facebook.
Hey, leave him alone. He's there. I love Jason. All right. So
I look forward to reading his obituary someday.
Wow.
We gotta get you together one day.
Far.
We gotta get you. And Jason, you gotta meet Terry before he leaves. He said that he loved your joke about his obituary. He definitely.
He what?
He said he loved your joke about his obituary.
I wrote it for him.
Okay. Well, I mean, but shouldn't comedy be kind of a safe space? A little bit. It reminds me of, they did a panel. They did a panel on each
of non-safe spaces. The safe space.
They did. I don't even believe in safe spaces, but I believe if we're going to have one, comedy should be it, where we can all laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other. And I use a perfect example. They had a panel on HBO years ago. It was Jerry Seinfeld. It was Jerry. Well, let me finish. It was Jerry Seinfeld. It was Louis C.K. It was Chris Rock, and it was Ricky Gervais. Yeah, from England. So you had a multitude of different people there, and Chris Rock sat next to Louis C.K. and Louis C.K. dropped the N-bomb 3 times next to him, and Chris Rock unflinchingly said, he can absolutely say it because he's the biggest N-word I've ever met in my life.
How did that play for Chris Rock?
It played fantastic.
What did Jerry Seinfeld say?
Jerry Seinfeld stood up. Well, here's my point about why people are kind of pussies now, is because Jerry Seinfeld stood up for Chris Rock's rights in that situation when Chris Rock was saying it's fine. And that's something I've learned I just call it the Karen mentality, where if you don't have a dog in the fight, you create one. And then you say, I'm going to champion this person. And this person saying, no, they're fine. And it's like, no, you don't know, but I'm going to stand up. That is to me, that is so much worse to say, no, you don't understand how this is offensive. Let me handle it. And then like a child, like you would do for a child, and say like, no, you don't understand why this is offensive. Let me stand up for you and show them why it's offensive in your name.
And I think that's what's great about comedy is because
anybody ever does that.
The way Chris Rock responded with the joke, that's comedy. It's a fucking art. It's like,
no, he meant it.
Gotta be like, and
he meant that for real.
That's not to say that I don't think some comedy is offensive. That's not to say that I don't think that
wait, time out. We can't finish that.
No, let me get in here, Josh. I'll sit through racist jokes. I'll sit through fucking misogynist jokes. I won't say shit to you about them, but I'll think they are. So,
right, but they are.
I'll think they are. To me, they will.
So you're not gonna champion that person, right?
I'm not gonna come for you, but yeah, if I was booking a show, I probably wouldn't put you on it.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you one question. I think this proves my whole side of this. What? Go ahead. I just think this would be a good.
But if you won't champion them, isn't that you canceling them for their views on stage?
No, because there's a market for their views on stage.
Well, let me ask you this to both of you. Let me ask you both this question. Have either of you ever known in your actual life, had in your life, someone who was actually a white supremacist?
Oh, yeah. I lived in Tallahassee.
No, they wouldn't be in my life.
They wouldn't be in your life.
I'm not going to be in a white supremacist circle and that I know of.
Okay. Well, sometimes you don't have a choice.
Let's be honest.
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
No, you mean like family members? Oh, no. Directly, absolutely not. I would remove.
I'm just saying, as a person
I've
who has had openly racist, openly white supremacist people in my life, I can just tell you, there's nothing shy about it. There's nothing unfettered about it. The only time that someone who actually believes this shit is quiet is when non-white people are listening. So I'm just saying, it's not the ones that are talking about it that it's your problem. It's the ones that say nothing that's your problem. It's the ones that fly underneath the radar. Those are the ones that actually believe this shit. It's kind of like Nico Prada's joke. He said, people always where I had a rape joke and people would always give me shit about it, like I was supporting rape. When I don't support rape, it's not the ones that talk about it you have to worry about. You know who never had a rape joke? Bill Cosby. Never once did he have a rape joke. Meanwhile, he's raping left and right in real life. And that's where your problem is. Your problem is not the David Dukes that come out and say that shit. Your problem is the ones that keep it quiet until it's time to go to Charlottesville with your torch.
CK literally talked about everything he did in his act. Like, what?
What?
Louis CK for years talked about everything he ended up doing in his act, and then he was guilty. That happens all the time.
No, first of all, let's not drag Louis into this, because that I don't agree with the whole canceling of Louis to start with.
No, he's talking about Bill Cosby. All right, I want to move on. On. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Not the point. The point was, it's not the people that talk about it.
I want to talk about one last thing before it's time for Terry Wayne's words for white people. We got to keep it moving, guys. All right, so DeSantis's anti-woke bill, it's been put to sleep for now.
Oh,
who's to blame?
You for picking the story?
Florida for electing him?
I picked this story because it says with a nod to 1984. I love that book. A federal judge blocks Ron DeSantis's bill. So that's why I picked
It's stupid.
I mean, I really
It's stupid. How can you be anti-woke? Woke isn't a thing. It's not real.
I like that he's considered a free speech crusader, but like, you know, there's a lot of things he doesn't.
Depends on what kind of speech you're talking about.
He's horrible. I hate that guy.
That's why the judge went with the 1984 quote, which I'm looking for.
I love all this. I love all the pandering to whatever the story of the week is. We're going to get CRT out of our schools. CRT has never been taught in any American school at any level from kindergarten to 12th grade.
The law school thing.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Now, if they would have come out and said, we want to prevent CRT from being taught in our schools, okay, well, there at least is some fucking logic in that. But to say we're getting it out of our schools, it's fucking never been there.
Yeah. It was a bright.
That's like saying we want to get all the Walmarts off Mars. Like there's never fucking been one there.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. And then the powers in charge of Florida's public university system have declared, and then I cut it off, but the judge said it's positively dystopian. But I will say this judge was a Obama appointee. I don't think that this
what does that have to do with anything?
I don't think
everything's fucking political.
Appeal it, and then they're not going to give up. DeSantis is going to appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court, and then they're going to
let them.
They're not going to be able to say gay in Florida at school. So, and
that's you already can't. There's the anti-gay law, you know, but
the worst.
First of all, you can't. I wonder how that's going to affect bullying, because I spent quite a few years in school in Florida, and I got called gay, faggot all day long. Day long. I've heard your jokes. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says about me using that word. That's my word as much as it is yours. Well, you don't understand because you didn't have it screamed at you in hatred. Yes, I did, while my head was getting cracked the fuck open. Yes, I did. So just because I'm not a homosexual does not mean I don't know the anger behind that word.
And you also have a gay best friend too, right?
What?
Nothing.
No, what? Every person in my life that was gay always ended up hitting on me, and I had to put a stop to that. Because I told them I wasn't down. Huh?
I thought you had a gay best friend.
A gay best friend? No. I have a Jewish best friend.
Is he gay?
He might be gay.
No, he has a wife and 3 children.
Oh, so Terry don't like
this
gay.
This is my favorite part of the show.
No, I have a gay cousin, but that's about the best. I don't know if that matters to you, but
no, it doesn't.
Not my best friend. He is my cousin.
No, but you should know the struggle more than anybody, Gio, because what about our mutual friend, I guess, that we've had on this show, who likes to do drag, and is homosexual. Yeah. Has he ever hit on me, Gio? To your knowledge,
homosexual anymore?
I'm just saying. Has he ever hit on me to your knowledge? Under oath.
All the time. He's very aggressive.
The fucking time. It gets annoying after a while.
Very
Stop
aggressive.
trying to convert me.
But I think that maybe it's what you were or weren't wearing, Terry, if you know what I mean. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I brought it on myself because I'm a white man and we don't matter. That's how Trump gets elected.
I'm not going to even blast you.
Did we end Gio's show with White Lives Matter?
No, because in my opinion, none of your lives matter. Okay, there's 8 billion of us.
We need less
show
people. With Terry
I don't
Wayne's
care who they are.
White people, where he explains to white people about.
I love this.
Terry, you got words for white people this week.
Well, I feel like I need to address that White Lives Matter thing.
And Josh, it's a monologue, so don't.
I don't care. I'm a realist, a logic. A person based in logic, in science, and an atheist. So I don't care what color you are. You're just worm food. Just live your life however you want, and we're going to burn you and put your ashes somewhere. That's what I would like to see happen. But anyway, let's talk about this. This is actual words for white people this week because I thought about it, and I think this is really mainly the whites doing this. And that is this this stigma that we have to stick to turkey on Thanksgiving. Because anybody who knows me knows I'm an avid cook. I'm very passionate about cooking and finding new recipes and learning new things about how to prepare food. It goes back to my childhood. Somebody I respected said, you know, God blesses the hands of those that feed us. And I always remember that. And I was like, that's really cool, that you're blessing, you're blessing others, but you're being blessed by being able to feed people. And having said that, turkey is a shit entree. It is a shit entree. You know why there's no fucking drive-through turkey spots? Because it sucks. All right. Turkey belongs on sandwiches, and that's it. All right. Maybe some soups, but that's it. Turkey fucking sucks, and most people don't know how to make it right anyway. So it always sucks. It's the white meat that dries out the fastest. God bless all the Italians I've known for the most part, because they do great Thanksgivings. Oh, with lasagnas and ziti's and homemade calzones and just, it's fucking beautiful. And bruschetta and all these great flavors. Fuck turkey. All right. Stop pardoning them. I don't want them pardoned. In fact, you know what? I say one year we just gather up all the turkeys we were gonna eat and let's send them to some country that's food insecure. Let them have it, because it's garbage meat and we should stop doing it. Make fish for Thanksgiving this year. Fish is a great entree. A lot of my Jewish friends make a fish course for Thanksgiving. I think it's fantastic to just do a whole salmon instead. That's a great meal. Fuck turkey. That's your words.
I can't let this go on. This is crazy.
It's not crazy.
Where do you eat turkey at? Because
it was literally crazy. I love it.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know who be seasoning his turkeys, but he tripping. And he's supposed to be eating a fried turkey here and talking about we need to make fish.
Damn, turkey. Now. Nope.
I tried to convince you to ditch the turkey, but no. You said you had to stick with it.
It's gonna be.
That's fine. Look, I'm not saying it's inedible. I'm not saying that it's inedible, but I'm saying if you're gonna build a holiday around food and around food and being gluttonous for one day, dream bigger, my man. Really, just dream bigger. It
comes from Thanksgiving, and you can share it. It's huge.
This is a good bit. This is a good bit.
Hey, let me ask you this: how many people have you thought ever on death row was like, I want some turkey as my last meal? That's what I want. I need some turkey in here. Give me some dry ass white meat turkey.
Okay, that's a good joke, man.
That is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Nobody's ever asked for that.
That's a good joke. That death row bit, man, that got me.
It's fucking ridiculous. Stop making turkey, you honkies.
Sorry, Gio. That was well written and performed. I loved every second. That was great.
She somehow took a fucking phone call for some reason in the middle of a podcast.
I just want you to know, Terry, even if she doesn't appreciate what you just did, I do. That was great.
Okay.
Sorry. It was Shandy.
Oh my God.
It was
Shandy. That was magic.
Shandy knows better.
I'm supposed to be meeting her. And we're running
whatever.
late.
Listen, honkies, expand your mind. All right. I've said this literally for the past 20 years. Just because you've always done something, and I'm talking about all traditions, just because you've always done something doesn't make it right. And it doesn't make it the best thing. Okay. At some point, we always did slavery. And then at another point, we always put lead into paint. And all those things were bad.
All right, Terry, get off your soapbox. All right.
I'm on it, baby. All the way.
Terry, I just want you to know, Jason was cracking me up in the YouTube comments. He said, he's like, I thought Terry was gay for the longest times.
Well, good. You're probably one of the guys that beat me up in high school, ass.
And then he said, Terry crossed too many lines tonight. Did Terry take an Addy?
Adderall? No, I wish.
Joshua, maybe your obituary joke should be about your NFT values. Ooh.
Oh, no, I didn't invest. I'm the guy who got rich. Fuck off.
I got you on that one.
Does anybody have any upcoming shows this week?
No, it's Thanksgiving. Nobody's doing nothing.
I am actually at the Boca Black Box on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, because you're the only one that could trick to do it.
And I know Dan Long is the feature, and there's an out of town.
Yeah, say hi to Randy Singer for me. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I won't, because he doesn't speak to me, so it's fine. We will catch you next week, guys. Have a good day.
I only have one last thing I wanted to say. One, thank you both for letting me be here. You guys are amazing, for real.
Thanks for being here.
No, I love listening to both of you guys speak, and I wish I was going out more now. And then the last thing I want to leave everybody with is, if I could just plead to the Jewish community, please stop blaming Black people for your problems.
Thank you.
I knew that shit was coming.
Okay, Farrakhan.
That was so forecasted.
All right. Like I said, I'm at the Boca Black Box Friday, Saturday. Jason, I'm talking to you. Bitch, bring your ass out. And maybe I'll get Terry out.
I'll come.
Finally meet before he moves.
I'll come.
John should come. So
I'm banned because reasons.
You can buy me some drinks in person. I haven't seen you since I did my podcast from your studio, so you should come out. All right, guys, until next week.